That was Friday at the LAFC game at Banc of California Stadium. LAFC, the club that I work for. I am the TV broadcaster for them. And that was Freddie Mercury Tifo. That was an absolute sensation. I wanted to share that with you. It was part of Pride Night. And I tweeted that out, and it got retweeted. And what I can tell you now, confirm, in Japanese. So I went to a Japanese audience. Korean, where else? Oh, Turkish, and a couple Scandinavian nations as well. Just to name a few. Spanish as well, but this went everywhere. So hats off to the 3252, the fans that created that. They created a huge moment. I know we have an international audience here. This is full time with me, Max Bretos. Hello. Happy Memorial Day weekend for those in the United States. So if you're visiting Los Angeles, come out and see a game. It's like circle it like you're going to Disneyland or the Santa Monica Pier or going for a hike in Runyon Canyon. Say I'm going to an LAFC game. Best team in Major League Soccer. 8 points clear of everybody else. Carlos Vela, the big number one box office attraction. 15 goals in 15 games. Okay. This is a very exciting time in soccer, so that's why I provide this important service. This is where you have the club and the country competitions crisscrossing. The end of the clubs, the beginning of major international competitions, which we will get to shortly. But the end of some club seasons, like in England with the championship playoff game, the world's richest game, in the Serie A, which we will talk about shortly, and in Spain, it was the Copa del Rey. And I will start there because that is where we talk about the biggest name that I will speak on full-time this week, and that is, of course, Lionel Messi. They lost to Valencia in this game. It seemed like a rite of passage for Barcelona to win the Copa del Rey. They just keep winning it all the time. And this was weird to see this. Ernesto Valverde getting a lot of the blame. Really pointed articles I was reading about his tactics and everything, and I get it. But you will not hear me give Ernesto Valverde the blame here because it's shared. It's on the players. And there's a lot wrong. Barcelona really put a hatchet in this season. Winning La Liga is no minor detail. That is a wonderful achievement. And they should pat themselves on the back for that. But what happened to Champions League and now here, unacceptable. They let this get away, and it's on the players. You can hear from Lionel Messi. Heading towards this game, he even said, we have not recovered from the Liverpool game. A titanic, disastrous result in the Champions League semifinals. That has left a residual effect. You could see it in the Copa del Rey. He said he felt the players also lacked down, which they did, his teammates. There's a lot wrong with the makeup of this team. Here is an example. For the last few weeks, we've been hearing how Barcelona is going to completely redo their roster. They have Frankie de Jong coming in, which is very exciting. They're going to spend a lot of money to get the targets that they want. In the meantime, they've made it, haven't really made it a secret that Ousmane Dembele, Philippe Coutinho, they want him out. So if you are Ousmane Dembele or Philippe Coutinho, what is the incentive? You don't feel part of this team. They've really messed it up. They've messed it up. The front office at the top, Lionel Messi has to shoulder his burden of the blame as well because he couldn't fire up this team. He is the captain. And obviously the players around him, they were really bad. Some really poor performances. Ivan Rakitic, what happened there? So we'll see. It's very disappointing, but Lionel Messi, hopefully, he will get that chance, and I hope he does. He will be with the Argentine effort in the Copa America, which begins on June the 14th, and I hope he does it. But this mindset, I don't see it really happening. But, someone else could come up big. All right, it was the Serie A final weekend. We were really excited about this a weekend ago, and it lived up to billing and then some. You had action at the top. You had action at the bottom. Atalanta, they did all the good work. They had their final home game, which they don't play at home. Atalanta de Bergamo is going to the Champions League for the first time in their history. And all season long, and we didn't address this last week, all season long, they have been playing away at the Città del Tricolore, which is the home stadium of Sassuolo, the team that they played on the final weekend. And you can see the stadium wasn't really full. Atalanta, long way from Bergamo, for my people. So Atalanta, able to come out on top, a remarkable Duvan Zapata, one of the top goal scorers in Europe in any league. He scores again. And now they're going to get the refurbishments of their stadium, which wasn't fit for Serie A play, let alone Champions League play, and they'll be in the Champions League. Inter gets in, finishing 4th, but it was a struggle against Empoli. Milan, for the 3rd year in a row, will not participate in the Champions League, and that is alarming. Ring those alarm bells. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Milan, Italy needs Milan in the Champions League, and for them to miss it like this, and for the record, Inter really didn't deserve to be in the Champions League with the way the season they had. Italy didn't really deserve 4 Champions League bids based on what happened in the Champions League this past year, and then look at the teams. I'm glad they do have 4 bids, but if they want to keep having 4 bids, they need a big tournament out of Inter next season, so hopefully they have a big summer and bring some big names there, because it's good with the Milan teams. Napoli's become a regular, and then Juventus is going to be great. Maybe Atalanta can surprise a few people, but you hope they can keep that team together. Pressure on Inter, I think, more than anything else. All right, the Women's World Cup begins June the 7th. USA, the reigning champs, got a chance to see them play as they wrapped up their pre-tournament games, and they beat Mexico. Prior to that, they played South Africa and New Zealand, and they outscored those 3 teams 13-0. In a perfect world, I wish they had a better opponent, one of the top European teams in those games, but that's the way it goes. It doesn't really help France or any of those teams that they didn't play the United States. That would help their World Cup effort, no doubt about it. So a lot of people are saying, is the United States going to win their 4th World Cup? Are they going to do it back-to-back? And I'm starting to feel it's going to be a real reach. I'd hate to bet against this team, and it's got nothing to do about them, but a development in the women's game. The field is getting better. And that's great news. The one reason I couldn't always get into the Women's World Cup as I did the Men's World Cup is I think the quality of play is great. And you see great moments, great teams, emotions. The gap between the haves and the have-nots were so huge. In the men's tournament now, any game can be competitive, just about. You could see Iran playing Spain, and Iran, with a break along the way, could win the group. That doesn't apply in the women's game. That used to be the men's game, but the world got better. And even though at the end it's usually Brazil or France or Germany, you get those surprise results along the way, and it makes it really fun. And new powers emerge, and that's what's happening in the women's game. And that's why I think the USA probably won't win this tournament. A, because it's over in Europe, and B, all these great teams from Western Europe, near the host country France, that have improved incredibly over the last few years. You have the Germans. We know they're very good. England, France. What about the Netherlands? Even Spain. These are all teams that have improved a whole lot. That's going to make it tough down the business end for the United States, who have the best players. Julie Ertz, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan. They have more depth than anyone. That is no question about it. And they got that will. And they're angry because they lost the Olympics. But watch this Women's World Cup for that reason. I think the French win it. I think they wouldn't that be something? But it's going to be very exciting to see it all go down. It's a great time to love this game. This is Full Time with Max Bretos. So much to share. That's why I'm here. A service from me to you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you for the support of everyone who has, and some beautiful comments there. You can see them on YouTube. Thank you, encouraging me to do this, because I really enjoy it, and it's good to see you again. Go LAFC.